Hello, everybody. This is Bill, and we are in the middle of some type of technical difficulty, so bear with us as we try and get everything back going here. And hopefully, Chris and Marty will be joining me shortly, and we can get this going back up.
Hey, Bill. Hey.
Yo,
Hey, how you doing?
hold on a minute. You're on the wrong channel.
Oh, okay. So leave this.
Hold on. Okay. So hopefully they will see the new link and join me shortly, and then we can go from there. So bear with me on the technical difficulties as we get this going. All right. So how are you everybody doing out there? I hope everybody's doing well. Sorry for the delay and everything that's going on behind this screen. But we had an internet outage right as we were about to go live. And we can go from there. So I'm just waiting on Marty and Chris to join us. And hello to everyone up there. Also, did you see the teaser? We put up a teaser slide. So hopefully you saw that and it might pique your interest. And we can go from there. So I'm waiting on the other two guys to show up. And then we'll get going. Okay. Well, anyways, we'll get started with so one of the ideas behind there's Marty.
Hey,
Are you there?
Chris,
Finally.
Yep.
Freaking internet.
We had. I was gonna say we had competing streams. Chris and I had a great conversation that nobody heard. I think.
I'm like, we could hear you still in the background.
Yeah, on the other channel. we didn't realize.
I stopped that other stream.
It doesn't show on our end.
Nope. We had a good roll going too.
Yeah. Yeah, it was all pure gold. All of it.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Forever lost to the ether.
Yeah,
however,
forever.
Your signal and broadcast is 1,000% better. So that's good news.
Good. All right. Well, hopefully we can get this cooking. All right. As tradition on the podcast, we will wait for our number one fan to jump on. But in the meantime, why don't we do some catch up? And Chris, you have to go first.
Oh no.
Oh no.
See, it was so good. And then Bill, you're all locked up, buddy.
Yep. So yeah. So since last time we talked, I went to a local gaming store. I took a class. It was I'd say it was pretty good. I'd say the instructor was good, but I don't want him to get his ego to be any bigger than it already is.
He was excellent.
No, just okay. No, just mediocre. But no, it was good. Got paint on my hands and paint on my shirt and some paint on the project.
Thanks, Gas. Go ahead.
Gas laying it in early.
And that's about it. That's what I did.
Yeah. What
about you,
Marty? I'm going to critique your work, Chris. Now that I'm several states away, your paint work is very one-dimensional. Where's the highlights? Where's the lowlights? Where's the? It's just black.
Hey, blame the instructor.
Oh, it's the instructor's fault.
Well, about that.
Well, instructor.
So as it turns out, since the last time we had this podcast, I taught a class. it's a gaming cafe, Critical Grind, which is near Chris and I. Combines two of my favorite things: a place to play games, as well as a huge ass game library, and coffee.
Yeah.
So I'm down with that. And did a little class on doing dungeon and castle walls and floors. So think bricks, stonework, cobblestone, that type of stuff. So
Chris, you're going to the dogs, man.
I know it's one of them days.
Yeah, how about it? So as you can tell, Chris has some homework that he hasn't done yet, because we did discuss
Well, I don't know
how
if
to bring
that went out
that
earlier.
up. But I was gonna say, Chris did try to show it earlier when we were
on the other stream,
getting started.
in case you
Yeah.
missed that.
Yeah.
Now,
But he's got a good start.
yep, and I could have done more on it, but I needed to get home and start cooking.
Uh-huh.
We did do this class on Super Bowl Sunday, so
Yeah. No,
there's
it
that.
turned out really good. Like I said, I don't know what paints and stuff you had there, but you take that, Chris, and get some grays and whites,
Yep.
and just highlight it, and you'll
Yep.
do. It'll look really good. So
Yeah,
nice
that's
work.
what the instructor was talking
there.
about.
Martin.
Yep.
But it was a good
What's your
class.
next
We had some good people. I mean, we had a father and son team. The kid was what, 5?
Yeah, he was a little kid.
Yeah.
They had a good time.
Yep.
Hey, Chris, do you still have that box that we received by UPS sitting on your bar counter?
Yes,
in
I
your kitchen?
do.
Would you mind grabbing that while Marty finishes up his thing?
Oh, okay.
Please and thank you.
So
Go ahead, Marty.
while we send Chris away to improve the quality of the podcast. Oh damn, he still has his headphones on. Whoops.
Yep.
Well, hold it. Don't show it yet. Go ahead, Marty. Finish your comments.
We're gonna make a little monthly meeting out of this little training series. So in March we're gonna do some rocks and trees. In April we're doing buildings and stairs. It's not gonna be playable buildings. It's just gonna be exterior stuff. So they'll probably be solid foam that we carve into, that type, and build on, that type of stuff. But it's just a chance for a bunch of like-minded hobby nerds to get together and do a little bit of hobby time over at the store there, and hopefully we bring some more folks into the fold. We got some really good feedback from the folks that came to the first one, so I'm looking forward to it. Now my challenge is rocks and trees is the next one. I can't use spray paint and I can't use spray glue because we're in a place that serves food, and it's winter in Illinois, so trying to do anything outside isn't really feasible right now. There's other ways around it, but no, but I'll take that under consideration, Gaz. I like the way you think. But the challenge is, I can use other products, but then I've got drying time issues. I've got a limited amount of time, and I want them to leave with a product that is as close as possible as done as I can. I don't want to send them home with a ton of homework, because I'm supplying all the materials for this. So I'm not giving you a bunch of that crap to take home. Use whatever you want while you're there, but at the end of the day, I'm packing it up and it's going back with me. So I need to get through this as far as I can. And if you're a brand new dude, you probably don't have a bunch of flock or clump foliage or that type of thing to flesh out a tree, for instance. So we need to get it on there at least, even if you need some drying time, and using spray adhesive would be super fast and easy to do that. But I can't. So or for building up rocks and foam structures, I'm gonna go with a low temperature heat gun, or low temperature hot glue gun, because it's super fast and easy. Because I don't have time for other glues to dry. Even I did a test run on using tacky glue, for instance, which works pretty good, but it still has a fairly significant drying time when you consider I've got basically a 4-hour start to finish block of time. And we want to maximize the use of our time. So I've been trying to work through some of those issues.
Now, and one of the things is, even though if you're like with this stuff, you're like, okay, make sure it's a very light coat of black. Get everything black, but make sure it's very light. That way it dries. Mine was dry, fairly quickly. Um, but one of the father son team, you
Got a
know,
little heavy-handed, yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
and that might be dry by now. That was a week ago.
it's not that bad. It was a Mod Podge. It dries pretty quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, but I mean, it's just a time suck. The other thing I've been looking at is, how can I speed up the drying time, whether that's using a hair dryer on a low setting. I have a very small space heater here at the house that it's a little electric fan. So I'm like, maybe I can use that. I've been working on, whatever I can do to, kind of make the process go faster. Cause that's the big challenge for this is being able to speed up the dry time of the products that I have to use because I'm constrained in, what I can use. Because
Right.
Because like building trees, if you let me, let me get some 3M Super 77 spray glue. Well, that bad boy knocked out in 15 minutes. Try doing that with PVA or tacky glue. Suddenly it takes a lot longer.
Yeah. Well, Mod Podge works well.
Yeah. So I tried PVA, tacky glue, Mod Podge. I tried doing the base coat of foliage with hot glue, and then using other glues on top of that. So I'll figure it out eventually.
There you go.
Like I said, I'm just trying to find the one that that combination that'll work best to get things going as fast as possible, and it's still something that is not like a barrier to entry. It's not some crazy weird product that somebody's got to spend $50 to be able to make a 90-cent tree.
Cool. Very cool.
Do you think maybe you should do the things that require spray to push them back a little bit on the schedule, because we're getting closer to spring and summer to where you could spray outside.
Yeah, well, one, nothing requires anything. It's just easier or faster to do that way. And
Yeah.
two, looking at what we want to do, I'm trying to do the projects kind of in a logical order. So, like in the fall, potentially you could build your own little diorama, your own little table, that type of thing. All the skills required to get to that point, and then go out on your own into the world and do great things. That's my goal.
Yeah, and again, it is Chicago, so it could be 70 this weekend and snowing in May.
True.
Yeah.
Got that going for us.
Cool. All right. Christopher, you located said box.
I have. Well, did you do any
Go ahead.
hobbling or
Hobbling?
Hobbling? I did a lot of hobbling.
Been hobbled all his life by us.
Since we returned back to sunny Florida, no, I have not done any hobbying. Yes, I've been hobbying our future. That's what I've been hobbying, my future.
There you go.
But on the terms of wargaming, we Chris made me, or Marty did, I can't remember which, made me purchase.
It was Marty.
Okay, that's Marty. It's always Marty. A new set.
Hold on. And I recall when this happened, I specifically said, I'm not getting blamed for this. Wasn't not me. No. I already take the blame for the guns. I'm not taking the blame for this one.
So anyways,
okay, I'll take the blame for
what
this
did
one.
we get? Dun, dun, dun. Oh, it's out of focus. Focus. Anyways, you have the plastic wrap on that one. That's why I asked you to get the other one.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you do.
It's super shiny.
It's just a very shiny box. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's a high quality box.
It's high quality. Actually, the whole kit is high quality.
Yeah.
So what Chris is showing you there is the Rubicon Models UH-1 helicopter, also known as the Huey. And those are, you can do it in a gazillion different configurations. You can do the medevac version. You can do the standard troop carrier version. You can do a weaponized version. I can't remember the actual models. Is it up to G model, I think?
D and H.
E and H. Okay. So my astute cameraman, the one that's holding the box, will be filming an unboxing sometime soon, and I will
Really?
narrate it. So, and then I'll do the graphics. So look for an unboxing video of the fine model that is known as the UH-1.
It is a really
Unboxed.
nice. It's so hard to find good help, I tell you.
Right?
Toughy years, where you at? Go ahead, let him have it.
Sorry, guys, we're still having some internet connection issues. I keep getting pop-ups saying we're losing a signal for a couple seconds, so I apologize for any breaks in service. But we'll do a thorough unboxing of that. I'll have Chris film it, and then I'll just edit it and narrate, put some graphics on, make it look pretty, and we'll go from
Yeah.
there.
Did you talk to
Marty.
my agent first?
The what?
Did you talk to my agent first? Can't just decide.
Talk to your agent first. Yes, I talked to your agent. I am the agent.
Yeah, he can do it.
Agent
okay.
Orange.
There you go. Gaz is on it.
Yeah.
All right. I think it's news time. Is it news time? Is it news time? I think it is. Let's go. All right, Marty. Yeah.
All right. Give me a second while I pull this up. I some. So.
Oh, no, you're coming in broken and stupid.
What?
Right?
No.
Yes.
Am I?
All right, I got first page up here, buddy.
All right. So,
God, I love this new computer. Sorry, go ahead.
For the first thing is, I don't mean this to be the Kickstarter show, but there's a couple of Kickstarters that we are gonna talk about. Yes, thanks, buddy, appreciate it.
He's just making up for Tuffy years. I don't know what
I was gonna say, we've never seen Gaz and Tuffy years in the same room. I'm starting to wonder.
Oh no,
starting to wonder. Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
Alter egos, but Kickstarter from Miska Miniatures. They are some 28 millimeter STL files. Obviously, STL, you can scale them up or down, do as you wish, but they're designed for 28 millimeter. $22 US gets you the core set, and there's a whole bunch of good looking add-ons. Because the core set, I was like, those aren't bad, and then I scroll down and not go through it.
Oh, nice.
But if you're interested in some of the add-ons, you can go to wargaming3d.com and look up Miska Miniatures, and they've got some really cool add-ons, I think.
Yeah.
I will tell you that the add-ons off of that Wargaming 3D site are a little bit pricey. They can be.
Wargaming 3D is where I believe we got our Zulu guys from, if I'm not mistaken. I've gotten stuff from them before, so
I mean, they're good looking models. No bang on that. But the models themselves can be a bit on the pricey side over there. So if you're interested, the Kickstarter is probably the way to go. However, the Kickstarter campaign ends like tomorrow, so jump on that if you're interested.
Isn't this where we printed the guys for 13 days? I know we used them in one of our projects. I just can't remember which one now.
I was gonna say we did get some dudes from here, I believe.
Yeah. Very cool.
But
cool.
yeah.
All right. What you got next?
There's some good looking dudes. So moving on with some Kickstarter stuff. Another one. Scale 75 has a Kickstarter out, and they call it drop paint. Not gonna lie, I think the name is stupid. However, the concept.
You forgot the and.
Scale 75.
Yes, he forgot and. It's drop and paint.
Yeah, whatever. It's still dumb.
Or is it drip and paint?
It's
drop and paint. Yeah, you think it's a drip and paint. Anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, the good news is at least it's in a dropper bottle. I mean, I get where they're going with it. I just don't like it. What I do like though is that is 128, I believe. Let's see here. Where am I at here? Yeah, 128 colors that are airbrush ready scale 75 paints. So that's pretty cool. And pledges there start at $22 US for 8 17 milliliter bottles, plus
Yep.
any free goals, stretch goals, whatever that's associated with your pledge level. And I say that because the pledge levels go all the way up to the top of the line is the two top tiers are $378 or $572. But for that, you get the full paint line, all 128. You get two 64 slot paint racks to actually put your stuff in. And depending on which one of those levels you pick, you get an airbrush with both of them. But obviously, one better be like $200 better than the other one.
Right.
But you get an actual airbrush with
Oh,
them.
you get a Geralda's Infinity airbrush. Damn
Yes.
it.
So, Bill, you need
We
to
don't
get
need
two
it.
of those. Ship them here.
You know,
Did you hear that, Dawn? She heard that.
again, not this guy. It wasn't this guy. You know, I mean that would be a tough nut for me to crack. I am not going all in on that.
Damn
You
it.
know,
I just been told no.
but
Okay.
but if that's something that interests you, check it out. Particularly,
Yeah.
check out the lower level tiers. You know, this may be something that you want to dip into, particularly if you already use Scale 75's paint range. Now there's an airbrush range to go with it. You know, you don't have to buy the $300 sets. You can start with $22, get your $8 kit. There's several different tiers in there, so you can
Yeah.
you can basically they kind of come in sets of 8, if you will.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
When's the ship date?
work that out. The Kickstarter
So,
the
go
Kickstarter
ahead, Marty.
going for another couple of weeks, I think. Another 12 days. So
Yeah.
I don't know if it says on there when the ship date is, Bill. I didn't write that down. But you know,
Let's see. September 2023 is anticipated date.
so they're looking at this fall.
Yeah.
I've not seen a review of this anywhere out in the wild yet. For the paints itself.
Geralda's has it. There's a
I-
video he's got.
Okay, I knew that he was supposed to, but I had not seen it yet. So
Yeah, I saw a post for it the other day
gotcha.
from a man, Angel Geralda's.
Yes.
So
You know, if it's
So
coming
it's
out in
amazing how
September,
all of a sudden there's been an explosion of paint. You know, Scale 75's got the stuff coming out. Vallejo has their new formulations coming out, and you know everybody like
Yep.
the year of the paint. You know. So
Yeah, well, you know,
interesting. I'm sorry, Chris. What were you saying?
I was going to say it's September. You know, I have been over the last 10, 15 years, I've been budgeting a certain amount of money to spend in September for like, I don't know, anniversaries and birthdays. And I don't have that expense any longer. I
Yeah, you
think
do. You have an
on
expense in
this.
September.
Think
It's my
about it.
birthday.
There you go. Boom.
Anyway,
Yeah,
moving
how
on.
about that?
So he's like, look, a card's only $3. I got this covered.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
All right. What else do you have there, Marty?
Moving on. So some news from Spectre Miniatures. You know, so
Yeah.
if you get the emails from them, they had earlier this week they sent out a it was yesterday or the day before they sent out a their email, and the covert miniatures
Thanks, Gaz.
are back. If you're familiar with their covert packs, basically it's a number of items. In this case, it's 6 regular stock items that don't you know, it's like they've got extras or they can't complete the
I think
original kit that it went into, so they pile them all
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
And
My feeling is that
yeah.
old stock for new stuff that's going to be coming between them and Black Site Studio.
But probably
That's my feeling.
Yeah, probably. You know, I mean, it's you know, as they say, it's made up from odds and ends. And once
Yeah.
they're gone, they're gone. They've also used this in the past to get rid of excess like limited edition miniatures that they still had in the shop.
Right.
You know, that they packaged up, because I've gotten a couple of those. So there's
Yeah.
that. Also, you know, if you go to their they've got their little last chance thing going on there. It's as it says there, leading to exactly what you were just talking about. They're going to be retiring some of their older models to make space for new designs and updates to the retired set. That is my guess, as well as yours, in conjunction with their partnership with Blacksite Studios. Also, they're going to end their Patreon. This is going to be the final month of their Patreon. Their Patreon has STL files in it. So specifically, if you're interested in that, go look at their Patreon and get those STLs before they're not available. I would presume that they're probably going to come back at some point after Blacksite and Spectre have worked out however it is they want to do things, right? But that might be a while. So, if you want to jump in there, like $7, I think will get you this month's models. There was higher level tiers, and I think that allows you to reach back and get more of them. You'll have to check it out. But you're going to have to do that pretty quick because once they're gone, we don't know when they're coming back or how that's going to look when they come back.
Exactly.
I am, truthfully though, I am pretty excited about the partnership here between Spectre and Blacksite Studios. So I'm hoping
it'll be interesting to see what happens to that.
Yeah, I'm hoping that that is a symbiotic relationship that just brings two nice companies together that are able to produce products that support each other, kind of, and it also make particularly for folks in the U.S. it'll make it easier for us to get Spectre rule books, because the only way you can get them is from Spectre or Blacksite, which, by the way, Blacksite Studios still has some version 2 rule books, or at least last time I checked on like Wednesday they did. So if you're looking to get one of those, jump on it. I don't know how long those are going to be in stock. 3.0 is probably going to be out this fall. So in the meantime, there's not going to be anything available as far as the actual rule book, and there's no PDF version of it out there. If you come across a PDF, it's pirated. Somebody did something on their own. You can't get a PDF from Spectre or them or Game Vault or any of that stuff. They do not make that product.
Exactly. To answer Gaz's question, no, their Blacksite Studio is US based. They're in Texas, and obviously Spectre's in England. So so they've been working on a partnership since Adepticon, the last one we were at. Was that 2019?
Yeah,
and it was.
Yeah, and they started off with they created a starter set, and that's when Blacksite Studios started selling the rule books as well as they had a little starter kit, and I think that was that a year ago, maybe a little longer now that they were doing that. And because COVID messed everything up, obviously, because I think they were planning on doing that way earlier. So everybody had to survive the pandemic, which they did. Yay us! And now they're getting back on track with their business plan. So I'm looking forward to seeing what that looks like in the future. Both of those companies seem to have come out of the pandemic really eager to try and bump up their presence in the market, particularly not just modern military, but Blacksite has gotten into making its own games, and they've got several different genres that are available there, as well as what they are originally known for, which is their terrain. So hope the best for all those guys. I want to believe that it's a high tide is going to raise all ships there.
There you go. So, all right, I have one item for the news. So, speaking of my man Araldez, he has just released on Domestika, I think that's how you pronounce it, Introduction to Painting Miniatures. For $20, you can have private lessons with the man himself. It contains 18 lessons for a total of about 3 hours and 3.5 hours worth of material. And he shows you the basics of miniature painting in his style. The only minor complaint has been it's Spanish with subtitles. So he is a Spanish speaking person. He does speak some English, but mostly he is Spanish speaking. Um, they are
Dang, it's
working
pain
on
enough.
trying to do trying to do an English version. I'd be happy to voice over your English version for you there, Angel, if you're looking for somebody. But if you really like his painting style and the way he paints miniatures, which is amazing, I highly recommend. It's $20, you know. Normally it's $59.99, but they have it on discount. This offer ends in 2 days, and he's already has 2,500 students signed up. So, and he has 34 reviews for 100% positive reviews. So, also, what I found out is I went to his own website, and you can now get volume 1 and 2 of his painting and miniatures book. The volume 1 was a Kickstarter, and it had sold out, and you couldn't find it. Tough Ears is in the house.
Hey,
And so,
her
yes, Marty has screwed up.
her ears must have been burning. I called you out earlier. I said, "Where you at?"
So if you're looking to get volumes 1 and 2, they are available on his website. So I will definitely be picking up those. So I thought I had volume 1, but don't remember who I gave it away to or sold it to, whomever, when we did our big move. But with changes in our future, we might be able to have a little bit more room to have some stuff and get back into production. So we'll see. So if you're interested in looking at this, like I said, he shows you how he paints, and he does a freaking amazing job, as you can see on the screen there. So, yeah,
Yeah, and
it's
20 bucks. People are like, "Well, why isn't it
yeah,
just on YouTube?" Well, you know what?
it's
If
his
this,
living.
yeah, and if this is something that interests you, 20 bucks. That's like what, 2 pots of GW paint.
Yeah, yeah, right.
I'm just saying.
Oh,
Yeah, well,
so yeah,
Johnny Depp got fired from that job, so
He's back, isn't he?
that wasn't
I,
wasn't
I
back for the
don't
last
know.
movie. Just saying, just
He
saying.
might be. I mean, after the last movie, nothing against Mads, but he's no Johnny Depp.
Right?
So
Yeah,
Yep.
Johnny Depp, much better call for that one. I liked his
yeah,
version.
Yep.
yeah. All right.
Well,
So
hold
that's
on.
the news.
Nope.
Oh,
I have a minor news thing. Not
you
really
have a
related.
minor news thing?
Yep.
We don't do
So,
mining here.
Wait a minute. We're going to give you a big screen here, Chris, because this is not
no.
often. Go ahead.
So a few podcasts ago, Tough Years was having trouble with typing, and instead of predictive text, it came up vindictive text,
We
which we
figured it
thought was a
out.
great idea.
Yeah.
Well, these things around us are listening all the time because it seems that Microsoft has already ran with that. Their Bing chat box, to where you can have conversations with it, it was
Mhm.
reported the other day that it's getting basically snarky. So
Yeah.
it looks like we missed out on that one, but it was a great
Tough
idea.
Years is a pathfinder. She really is.
Yeah.
Yep.
She laid the groundwork.
Yep.
All right. Transition time. So, topic for this show is wargaming on the rise or decline? Is it becoming more popular or less popular? Since we're coming out of the pandemic, our president has officially declared the end of the pandemic. Um, because during the pandemic, everybody was locked down. They needed things to do. So that's true. Tough years. I
Yeah.
agree.
100%. Skynet.
So Skynet. So everybody was looking for stuff to do, right? So wargaming seemed like a thing. You could hobby, you could paint, build stuff, all that good stuff. Now that we're coming out of it, what brought my attention is we had another game company close the shop this past week. It's a board game company, but um, I think we've seen 4 companies in the last month or two close. Several miniatures companies have closed. I mean, we're seeing. Is it a consolidation of the business, or just a failure of small companies who couldn't survive the pandemic? or the cost that, now everything costs so much more. So yeah, it's an interesting topic. And the cartoon that I have on the title slide, I thought was pretty funny too. We can't see the end of the table, but they're still opening boxes. How many times have you been at a game with people and they're still pulling stuff out or setting it up? One of the reasons I don't play 40K or haven't in the past is I tried to play with my brother at his house, and it took like 3 hours to set the freaking game up. Why? I don't know. It took 3 hours, but it took like 3 hours just to set the stupid game up. So
You
it'll
don't
be
want to.
very interesting.
You don't want. You don't want to play orcs and have to bring a 5-gallon bucket full of dice to roll.
Right. So, well, I predict that one. They're tough years. So I don't know. What's your guys' impression? I mean, you guys are newer to the hobby. I've been around a while, so I have definitely seen the rise of, what Warren from On Tabletop Beast of War claimed a year or two ago, the golden age of wargaming. Is it starting to diminish? Do you think we'll see, uh, more companies going by the wayside, and only the big ones surviving? And another thing is, no surprise, GW announced another price increase.
What?
So, and a lot of companies, to be fair to GW, a lot of companies announced some price increases, because materials are costing more, transportation's costing more, everything is costing more right now. Inflation is really, I don't want to get political, but I mean, I don't know what happened the last few years. Obviously money got cheap, and we have to slow down that, or the bottom falls out, right? So you have to
Well,
bring the interest rates up and all that. So
you also have to look
um,
at the picture on a more global scale, because that's how it was here in the U.S. But the U.K. has had all sorts of crazy financial issues between the pandemic and Brexit, and how do we deal with VAT and this and that, and I mean all sorts
right,
of stuff over there. Now I'm not going to pretend to understand it. I just know I see people bitching about it from over there,
right,
and that may affect people being willing to purchase stuff. They're like,
yeah,
I feel that's too much, or just the process itself is a pain in my ass, so I don't want to do it.
yeah,
Uh, I, uh, my thoughts are that I think that a lot of these, I think that we brought a lot of people into the hobby during the pandemic, and
yeah,
and I'm kind of fortunate because I got into it in 2019,
yeah,
so I got into it just before, started to have a clue what I liked, what was going on, and then we got locked down. I'm like, oh, look at all this crap I got to paint around me. So,
exactly,
and away we went.
yeah,
But I think that a lot of folks coming out of the pandemic don't have the same free time that they used to have, and
yeah,
it's not that they want to get out of gaming, but now it's back to what it was before. I have to figure out how to fit this into my life, my routine, that type of thing. Between
right,
the hobby side and the actual, am I getting together and having my buddies come over to the house? Am I going to the store to play a game? Am I going to go to a convention? That type of stuff. So
exactly,
there's a lot going on there. The other thing I think, in particular for some of these companies, is competing with 3D printing. I mean, there are folks that are very dedicated to their metal models. There are folks that are very dedicated to high quality production plastic models. But there's also a lot of
uh-huh,
folks that are more than happy to fire up their 3D printer, get an STL of a pack of dudes for $15, and print 4,000
right,
of them out. So I got to think that affects some of the in particular miniature manufacturers.
yeah,
So for me, it's kind of hard to tell if it's on the rise or decline,
uh-huh,
because when you're googling this stuff and looking at YouTube and everything else, a lot more of that stuff is showing up in your feed, right? It's
right,
showing up in everything. So it kind of leaves the illusion that things are on the rise because you're now more stuff is just showing up.
Yeah.
But there's so many people who kind of got into it, and there's some really nice upcoming uh, things. It's just a evolution, I think. I don't think it's going to rise or decline. If anything, it's on the rise. I don't think it's really declining. I think what you're seeing is where technology, like Marty was saying, with the STL printing and stuff like that, that might
Uh-huh.
be changing the focus. Also, the other thing is maybe during the pandemic, people bought so much stuff that they can't keep buying it at the same level that they were before.
Sure.
So things are calming down a little bit.
Still
I,
working through their pile of gray.
yeah, but I do think it's more of it's an evolution. If you look at kind of like cameras, digital cameras, when everything went
Uh-huh.
digital, you know, things changed. When we started losing film, um, a lot of people changed, and they had to either evolve or leave.
True. Now, I don't know. What do you guys think out there? Um, honestly, for me, I feel we're gonna have a consolidation. I feel the smaller mom and pop shows, one, 2 person will, they'll struggle. Um, they'll struggle, you know, and you'll see the bigger companies swallowing the smaller companies. We're already seeing it, so, um, I don't know. It'll be tough. It'll be interesting to see if those people who got into wargaming during the pandemic for something to do, stick with it. Or now that they have the freedom to go about travel and do things, will it now get pushed to the back and they take on, I want to go travel, I want to go do some outdoor stuff, or whatever the case may be. You'll have your diehard people, your definite ones that are really into wargaming and the hobby, and then those who picked it up just because it was something to do. I think you'll see a lot of people get out. I mean, I've already seen, if you look on Facebook on some of the miniature pages, you'll see people, I'm selling my armies, I don't play it anymore, et cetera, et cetera. Um, it'll be interesting. I
I
think
think
conventions will help, in some aspect, but again, I think we're gonna consolidate to those people who really are into the hobby versus something that somebody picked up as something to do because they had not much else to do. YouTube picked up because everybody was watching YouTube because they were locked down and stuff like that. So I don't know. What do you guys?
I think that
So
I think that it's going to be a net gain overall. I mean,
yeah,
Yeah.
to your point, there's certainly going to be some folks that got into it and then they're like, nope, my life is back. I'm going to go back to what I was doing before. But out of those people, in particular, from via the pandemic that are like, hey, I need a hobby, I need something to do. They're not all
uh-huh.
going to leave. I
No,
don't think they're all going to
no,
go.
no, no. I
So we're going
necessarily
to
mean
get
that.
right. So we're going to get some of that now. On the business side of things, though, the companies, as you explained earlier, got a lot of stuff to deal with economically, fiscally.
Yeah,
If I'm making metal miniatures, turns out the price of metal went way up.
yeah,
If I'm trying to make plastic miniatures, and I've got a guy in China that's making them.
yeah,
One, I have to deal with. I got to get my molds made. I got to, and that price has gone up. I got to actually get the plastic. Those costs have gone
yeah,
up little bit. Let's not get crazy about it. But then now I got to get it from there, from the factory to my warehouse, or drop ship to wherever it goes, or to a distributor, and all of those transportation costs and timelines have gone up.
yeah.
And then when people are dissatisfied with one, the other, or both, then they walk away from that company perhaps. And do they stay in the hobby? Do they go to another company? That type of stuff. And
Well, is that
we've
what?
seen several companies, fall to that particular scenario.
Yeah. Well, I don't. When Dust went to Chinese manufacturers when they did their retooling and stuff, I was not
Mhm.
happy with the QA/QC on it. quality
They've
control.
always been Chinese.
I was just gonna say
They've always been manufactured by.
they've
Well,
been
then they
manufacturing
moved it
China.
from one to another one.
So
Well, no,
China has
because
this
the
weird
factory.
rule about their factories. Yeah, so China actually makes those dudes move. So they moved from one factory to another. Yeah, and then had some issues, and then the pandemic hit, and yeah,
So, just so everybody knows out there, Dust Miniatures was actually manufactured by, I can't remember his last name, but his first name was William. He actually owned Dust Miniatures. And the factory where they produced them was owned by William. Well, help me. What's his name? Dust.
William.
Paulo
Paulo
designed
Parente,
the artwork and everything, but the manufacturing process is owned by this guy named William. I can't remember his last name. And he basically, we can talk about this now because the company doesn't exist anymore. But he basically told the people that were in control of Dust, they had to make a certain amount of money at certain stepping stones, and if they didn't, he was going to close down production. He's going to stop it, end it, whatever. So I think the pandemic affected that greatly, and they just decided we're washing our hands of this, and then they closed it down, and literally closed it down.
And as it turns out, little inside baseball, Dust Studios, Dust USA, the guys in Europe, none of them own the molds. William did, so he gets to decide if I'm putting plastic in them or not. So yeah, that made it a great challenge, as well as he was forced to move his factory from one location to another because apparently China does weird stuff like that and says this is how you do things. I don't get that process.
Well, maybe they contaminated an area so much they have to move down the street to spread it out a little bit better.
Well, like I said, it was owned by this gentleman named William. I can't remember his last name, but there was a lot of moving parts behind it, and if they didn't make certain numbers, he just he was in it for the money. I mean, he's a businessman. That's what he does. He had no interest in the game whatsoever. It literally was a business deal for him. It was Paulo's baby, and I think we're seeing some life because I just saw somebody was putting out, was it a comic?
Simon.
Yep.
Volume 2. Yeah, they've got the IP.
A role playing, wasn't it? A role playing game?
No, it's a comic.
RP. I don't remember, comic or something like that.
Yeah, but it came with miniatures.
Yeah, there's 8 miniatures that are supposed to come with it.
Yeah, so I don't know. Does that mean Dust is going to breathe new life? It's a good game. The game itself is good.
Yeah,
I still have it. Really is nothing. Yeah.
For me though, when it went from one manufacturer to another, or whatever the case may be, the quality went down, the price stayed where it was or went up.
Now, see, I didn't see the quality drop. Marty, did you?
So the difference between some early stuff and some late stuff was the material. They used a little different plastic.
So this brings back, which edition of Dust Miniatures are you talking about?
Right.
The ones in the brown box? Are you talking about the Fantasy Flight version? Are you talking about who made it before Fantasy Battlefront? Because you had Fantasy Flight made the white boxes. You had Battlefront who did the Babylon sets. That was the big failure of Kickstarter. And then you had Dust Studios producing their own miniatures. That was that tannish military-looking box at the end.
There was one after that because I was getting the tan ones. There had to have been because that's when they were going back and forth to China. They were working through issues.
No, the tan ones were the last issues. There was no more.
Okay.
So depending.
Well, when I got when we saw them at Adepticon, and that's when I bought the starter kit. Right.
Okay.
That was that tan box. Yeah.
Yep.
And I thought those miniatures were great. I mean, great detail. Everything was in the box. It was supposed to be in the box.
Yeah.
But then, as time went on, I was getting things to add to it. like the
Yeah.
E10, which is a very simple tank. It was expensive as hell, and it was very. I was not impressed with it. Not impressed at all.
Mm.
Everything. It was thinner. It was lighter. It was. It just felt cheaper.
The
The
E10,
detail.
was that
It was a tank.
the Axis?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just did not feel like it felt like it was a different company altogether.
It was
Everything
same
about it.
company, new mold, obviously, because it was a new product. But no, that's the same dude.
Okay. Well,
Huh. Okay.
so with that
Well,
dropping, that kind of money on that thing, I was like,
yeah.
eh.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, a lot of this, you had different companies producing stuff. So
Yep.
at the end, it was Williams' own factory producing it. Before that, I don't know who Battlefront used. I don't know who Fantasy Flight used. I don't remember what the company before Fantasy Flight used, because there's been like 4 or 5 iterations of Dust since Rackham Games. Rackham Games was the
Right.
original point of Dust back in the day. So yeah, I mean, that unfortunately I don't think that was a pandemic more than the internal workings and just not working.
Yep.
I don't know if pandemic was really the downfall of Dust, other than the guy who pretty much owned the material said, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore, and I'm not making a lot of money off of this. Because
Yeah.
you remember,
I
Dust
think that was the
1947 or Dust whatever reiteration is a very niche game. You're talking World War II, weird. And a lot of it was grid based. A lot of people don't like to play grid based war games. They want to play freestyle, right? So you can play it freestyle, but I personally think it plays better grid. It's easier, it's faster. Anybody can play it.
Right.
So I don't know. That's interesting. Marty, you missed one of the biggest news pieces of this past week.
Did I? I told you guys.
Warlord Games. Warlord Games. Let me share the screen. Window. There it is. Announced Pike and Shot Epic Battles. You know how the Epic Battles at American
Yep.
Civil War and the Epic Battles Napoleonics? They just announced Pike and Shot Epic Battles, so you can do what is it, the English Civil War, or English Civil War. So, and then they have their big bundle. So you can get all those guys in the terrain and all that. All right. So
Cool. Yeah. So
yeah.
So yes and no is the answer on that. I mean, so I did see it, but I was trying to lean into more modern stuff. So I
Gotcha.
did not include it. But
Well, remember, we're not
there-
just exclusively
there-
modern anymore. So
yeah, but I am no.
So, here's
I am impressed by that kit though. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
bunch of cool stuff. I mean,
it is.
say what you want
It
about
is.
Warlord, because there are folks that are like, oh, it's Warlord. Say what you want. I think they make pretty good stuff, and there's a boatload of it in the box. I mean, you don't want to pay what they want, what they're asking for it. Don't get it. I don't know. Tell you,
Right.
Just don't buy it then.
Yeah. So here's my question. Outside of England and the Europe, do you think this will do well? I mean, how many people in the United States? Because what is probably one of your biggest miniature markets out there? Miniature buying markets. Is it the U.S. or is it UK, Europe? I'm interested to see how well this does here in the U.S. And I hate to say the U.S. is all that in a bag of chips, but I don't know.
It's so
It looks cool. I honestly don't know much about the English Civil War, to be honest with you.
I think that the UK and Europe has a much longer tradition and history of wargaming, if you will.
Mm-hmm. That is true.
As well as they have a much longer tradition and history, period.
But that is true.
than we do over here in the US.
That is true.
So I think that it will certainly have some appeal in those markets.
Mhm.
How it's going to do here, don't necessarily know, but I'm willing to bet that there are some folks out there that are interested in that time period and will play it.
Yeah.
But now, how big that's going to be, I don't have a good handle on that.
Yeah. Well, you know what? On the other side, sitting here thinking about it, I would buy this so I could learn more. I mean, that's one of the nice things about wargaming is you can get into something you don't really know about and learn about it.
100%.
So, and you know what? I don't know why you people in the UK just can't get along. 7 civil wars. Jeez.
That doesn't include all the colonies abandoning them.
Oh, snap. So, speaking of which, did you see that they took our lovely Queen Elizabeth off the money in Australia? So they didn't want to put King Charles on there.
I think
that's
a thing.
Well, yeah. Anyway, I have my opinions on that. I have much respect for the Queen. I thought she acted like a queen, personally. So yeah, unfortunately, she had some screwed up family members. But you think about the poor girl. She was in her 20s when she became queen, until her death. So yeah. But getting back to this, it just brings up an interesting aspect of wargaming. Just like this, for me, I don't really know much about the English Civil War and this.
Uh-oh. Bill.
I wouldn't be painting just greens and browns, right? You have different colors. So
yeah, I'm with you on that one. I paint a lot of green and brown, which is why I like getting into. Part of the reason why I like getting into other genres, because as it turns out, I like to use the other paints too.
Yeah. So, getting back to our chart, do you think it's rise, decline, or just going to kind of plateau?
Actually, you know what? You guys just brought up something else: the rise or
What's
decline of wargaming. Maybe it's just in cycles. It's time to crack open those other paints and get into something that's not wargaming, but still gaming. Painting Middle Earth.
That's wargaming.
Yeah.
But,
it's wargaming.
It's not this channel.
It's gonna say, but it
Nice
says
try,
it right on
Chris,
the box.
Wargaming.
Okay.
I mean, it's literally in the name.
You get the point, though. I mean, we're from our channel. We talk about modern military, and that's not.
Yeah.
So
no, I get where you're going with that, Chris.
Or
I get where you're going with that.
But I think to your point, Chris, that a lot of it is kind of cyclical. That folks go back and forth maybe between some stuff, as well as they do it in turns out they might enjoy more than one game or genre at a time. Who knew?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Can I like D&D and Spectre Operations? Sure.
Yeah. Or Zombicide. You're tired of blues and green or browns and greens.
Yeah. So you want them all gray.
Yeah. Blood.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think that there's certainly something to that.
I agree. So I am trying to. That's a PNG.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I'm trying to post something because I wanted to. I'm just waiting to see if it'll post. It's probably gonna tell me the file's too big, but we'll see. Speaking of other genres of wargaming, you may have seen a mysterious post on Facebook. And let me see if I can just bring it to Facebook. Yeah, it won't. Oh, that's not a. That's because I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Yes.
Admitting you have a problem is the first step.
All right, so the timestamp on that is almost exactly 1 hour. I'll need to go back and find that later.
All right, if you look on your screen right now, this is what you saw posted. Citra Podcasts, Other Realms. And all I put was coming soon. What could it be?
Oh my. The anticipation.
Right? Weird World War II says I can only afford one genre. Gaming isn't cheap. That's very true.
Yeah.
That is very true.
Yeah.
But
One at a time, we get that.
Because we not only play historicals, and a certain lovely bride of mine doesn't play historicals whatsoever, and she wants to be included in some activity.
And should be, because
We
she's
are
better on
going.
camera than all of us put together.
Yep, absolutely.
So we are going to be opening a second channel in the future
Can we
called
have
Fit
her
Rep Podcast Other Realms. Go
bring
ahead, Chris.
her on? Let her talk about it.
Oh my God!
I guess that's
him.
a no.
He's in shock.
She's like, right now, thank you.
You froze right when Chris said that.
So, how's the finely ground guinea pig going on the Alamo, Chris?
Yeah, Chris still needs to grind up some guinea pigs, so we can texture the Alamo with them.
Yeah, we haven't done. We haven't got back to that.
Yeah. It broke the internet.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we've been having connection issues all morning. So, anyways, be on the lookout for that channel, and that channel will include sci-fi, fantasy, weird, whatever, anything.
I think Harry Potter is going to be
its
own sub
other stuff.
Yep. So it'll all be matched in there. So we'll be doing a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Other gaming outside of historical. Hell, we might even do a little Magic the Gathering, because Dawn is a fiend for Magic the Gathering. So
she whooped my ass. And Joey whooped my ass.
Yeah, he's pretty good. He's come along. So
Dawn has taught him well.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So, granted, Magic the Gathering is a card game. It's not really necessarily a war game, but I do have a game that is card-based, but is miniatures, called Onus. If you've not seen it, Blasphemy. Uh-oh.
Which part?
What? Hey, wait a minute. Which game
narrow that down?
Weird. We don't know that game, Blasphemy. Can you send us a link?
Yeah.
It sounds interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So let me bring up this game. I think I've talked about it before, but let me show this real quick. Drop this down here. Open that here.
Gotcha, Weird.
And we're playing Wargamer playing cards. So let me share the screen.
So Onus was one of the ones that you wouldn't let me or Marty steal from you.
That is correct. That is very correct. So this is what it is right here. So let me enhance that. Enhance. So basically, you have your miniatures printed on the card. And Tavier's is happy to DM an RPG for the channel.
Yeah.
I feel some One Ring coming, don't you? Ooh. Which one? An award. From on tabletop. So instead of having to paint a whole bunch of miniatures, you just dole out these cards and you move them around the table just like you would a stand of miniatures, and you're able to play. So it comes in a nice contained little box as such. Let me shrink that back down like this, and your whole armies are in this box. Yes, I know you're not painting armies, you're not assembling, but it plays the same way.
Turns out that's the point, right?
Right.
I mean, this is right in Chris's wheelhouse.
Yep.
Right. I backed this as a Kickstarter. I have all of it. I have the terrain pieces, so you can put out on a map. You can do like little rivers and castles and fortifications and all that stuff, like right here.
Is that
you
like
can
6
see right
mil
there.
terrain then?
I don't know what scale it would be considered, but you could probably use it for 6 to 10 mil.
I'm just wondering if if you wanted to enhance your pile there, if you could just pick up some 6 mil or print out some 6 mil and make other buildings, fortifications, whatever.
And World War II says, might as well play a video game, combat mission for your modern stuff. True, but I mean,
if you don't play a video game, I'd have to say the new Hogwarts Legacy is not bad.
Yeah, Dawn really likes it. And Dawn's not a computer gamer at all. She really. So what she told me last night. You ready for this? So I guess there's cats that roam around the world of Harry Potter in this game.
Hmm.
So what does my lovely wife do? She stops and pets the pet and pets the cats.
Yep.
Because she says they like it. So instead of doing whatever mission she's supposed to do, she stops for her world and pets the cats. So
Well,
that is my wife.
eventually one of
And
them's
that's why
going to
she
turn out
wanted
to
to
be
call the new
one of them's
she
going to
wanted
end
to
up
call
being
the
a
new
familiar.
right, and she wanted to call the new channel Mystery of Nonsense, right? Because that's just the way she rolls. Tuffy here says One Ring, Aliens, Blade Runner, Warhammer, 40K, Twilight 2K, Tales from Loop. Wow, does them all. That sounds cool.
Ooh, a whole
We'll
bunch.
have to get that going once we get the channel up. My wife plays Skyrim because it's full of cat people. I hear you, brother.
So they get-
So, but yeah, no, Harry Potter's really cool. I have not played it. I've watched her play it a little bit. It seems really cool. I have my own world of, virtual world that I play in. So that's a different story for another time. But so, anyways, look out for other realms in the near future as I get everything up and going. We want to find out my future first before we really get into the process of that. Um, but Sit Rep Podcast, the historical side, will not be going away. Like I said, I'm in the background working with Jim to see how we can handle that and let him turn it into his baby. And then, we'll jump in here and there. And we'll still do the podcast show.
100%.
Hopefully in the future, this brings up another point. And I'm going to unfortunately have to use On Tabletop as the talking point. And I'd like you in the audience to get your opinion. I don't know if how many of you follow On Tabletop, but they had a show. They had their award show this past week, and there was a couple of comments on there that says, "Why are you guys still doing remote? Why are you not in the studio? There's something lost in the translation when you do it remote." And unfortunately, I kind of agree. I've been saying it for a while now. There's a dynamic when they're in studio at the round table, and you're looking at that great set they have, and people really look forward to that dynamic. I can remember when Dawn and I were on
Yep.
set, walking in that room, it was like, oh my God, I'm on set, I'm here. I'm going to be on the Weekender or on the, backstage. Cause we've known those guys for a long time now, almost 10 years. So, yeah. So what do you guys think out there? Because Don and I are, just to be fully transparent, Don and I are in the process of reevaluating our life here in the Florida Keys. And we are looking at opportunities to possibly take us back home to Illinois. And if that's the case, we're going to definitely have to either Chris's studio setup or another setup. So we have a dedicated studio where we can actually get everybody at the round table or whatever setup we end up doing. Do you guys feel it's a more entertaining show when you have people actually in the same room, chatting it up, interacting? Or is this kind of scenario that you see now? Okay. So I would love to get your guys' feedback in that. So let's see what word 3 says. I've always enjoyed the social interaction as much as rolling the dice. Got to give your players some hell and have some laughs. Remote just doesn't make it as fun. I agree.
Yeah.
Especially when
And
you got
being
3
together, you
when
get
you
to
got
push
3
Marty
idiots
off a
sitting
chair.
around a table. Yeah, we get to watch Marty. When you get 3 idiots together and do some silly stuff, it's harder to be. I don't know how you two feel, but to me, it seems very sterile, remote like this.
I mean,
I think we still have a good time, but
it's a way to solve the issue of, well, we're geographically separated. So, we've got that
right,
going for us. But if we're not geographically separated, we can all come together in the same place. I
right,
think it's a better experience overall for us, for the viewers, the whole 9 yards. Because
yeah,
it's a little different vibe.
Yeah. It
yeah.
also depends on what you're doing. This is, not bad. Um, but we're not rolling any dice or doing any attacks while
Well,
you're.
no, but Chris, if you go back to when Beast of War guys were in studio for the Weekender, their weekend show,
Yeah.
you saw better interaction. There was a lot of laughter and lividity and all that stuff. Then you look at
Death? They died? Lividity?
Frivolity. Get over it.
Oh,
Move
okay.
on.
so and then you look at the remote stuff, like kind of what we're doing. It just seems sterile. So it just, I don't know. There's just not that there's one of the aspects is the body language. I don't know how to explain it. It's just a different experience. I think it's more interactive when you have a good visual set, you have good production,
Oh,
and
absolutely.
it's not everybody doing Zoom or remote whatever like we're doing.
Right.
So I think it just makes a better quality show. And
Yeah.
let's
Same
see.
here.
Weird continues on with, if you can meet, I think it's a better game. But if you're in the gaming wasteland, it's better than meeting it. I agree. It's better than nothing at all.
I mean,
But from a visual aspect, I think for a show, it's better if you have a studio where everybody can meet as much as possible. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
We understood during COVID, everybody had to be separated. We're supposedly out of it. So I don't know. We'll see. But I just wanted to get other people's opinions because I haven't been to agree with a couple people that were commenting on that. And I love those guys to death. They've been our friends for almost 10 years now. And we've been, part of the team and we've been on the show. And I do feel like it's lost something with them being remote. Now, because things have kind of somewhat settled down, they need to get back in the studio and just get that magic going again, personally speaking. But I don't know.
right.
We'll see.
I concur.
I think that's, it's much easier when you can interact and say, hey, show me this. And you're, going back and forth. And then there's that banter and all that. I mean, so it just makes it look much better, personally speaking. Any other thoughts, guys, or anything come up?
Don't
Otherwise,
accuse me
we're going to
of
go ahead and
thinking.
close out the show. Feels like they're just making content, not wargaming. Ooh. So, yeah. So they need to get back to their roots, I think, in some aspects. They need to get Warren back active. I know things have changed because they've sold to Wayland Games, are now part of Wayland, whatever the mix is. I don't know. I'm assuming they have certain metrics they have to meet now because they're part of that company and all that. And I just hope they haven't lost some of their creative freedom as they once had when they were on their own.
Yeah, because I kind of thought the whole
only time
deal
will
on
tell.
this was that they were going to be able to do more of that stuff because they didn't have to worry about the back end administrative stuff. Wyland was going to be doing that.
Yeah.
I mean,
So I don't know. I don't have all the ins and outs of it. We'll just have, only time will tell. So it says, I don't know what wargaming is smoking these days. Hi, Ryan. Welcome to the show. Hybrid BBs and tech trees. What does that mean?
Oh, I was going to
Anybody?
say, I'm lost on that one.
Chinese rocket tank. Not sure what that means either.
Uh-huh.
Or what are we
Okay.
talking about? Hybrid BBs in tech tree.
The BB is a battleship, but
Hybrid battleships in tech tree. Is he talking about like World of War or something like that? And Tuffy Earth's observation, it's like Warren has lost interest in OGT.
I don't know what the deal is there, but we don't see him like we used to.
It's hard for me to comment on it because he is a good friend of mine, and I really haven't had an opportunity to talk to him because we haven't been over in a while. I'm hoping that we can start traveling back over to Northern Ireland and meet everybody and get back into it.
yeah,
I
should take the whole podcast with you.
Sure. We'll start a GoFundMe now.
Oh,
no. And then
we've seen Marty drink.
Yeah. And then, Dawn and I have a standing invitation to well, they're not foreground anymore, but those guys, Big Ben and all them, and to come to their the Factorum. Factor M. What's it called, hon? Factor M? Factor M. So to Wargame and hang out and see them guys. So yeah, we definitely got to get in there. But I just hope our friends over at OTT recapture some of that magic that brought people into them and go from there. So but from our standpoint, the reason we're expanding out is because we have a lot more interest than just historical, and it kind of felt like we're being stifled to be creative because we had to concentrate on historicals. So, and then we know a lot of you guys don't only play historicals. We know some do, but there's a lot that don't play just historicals, and they play Mordecai or other things. And so we wanted to expand out and include people in that, and it brings Dawn back into the fold.
Yeah, which is really what Marty and I are looking forward to. Really looking forward to having Dawn back.
Oh, yeah. So, because when we do gaming conventions and things like that, she was the face of Beast of War US, in all truth. So we have to recapture some of that magic. So yeah. That's all I got for the show today. Anybody else have any final thoughts or anything else?
Nope. I'm looking forward to the new channel. Some additional content over there, and other than that, certainly not walking away from historical or moderns. I'm currently building away for stuff right now.
I tell you what, man, the internet today. All right. Well, because it's about all we go weird, inject some sci-fi horror into your historicals. It'll be on the other
100%.
channel. We'll be doing a lot of Dust, and then we might explore Conflict 47 as well. So, which is the Warlord version of Weird World War II. Yeah, we'll go there. So, there was one that just came out and it was World War II with zombies. I'm sorry, guys, if you're a zombie fan, but I think zombies have been overplayed, and I think I'm just so tired of zombies. So, yeah.
Well, that's why you kill them.
So if you want to go Weird World War II dead games, I also have a copy of Incursion.
Yeah.
It's out of production, but similar. It's almost more of a board game style game. But if you can find the minis for them, they make some awesome miniatures for it.
Yeah. So yeah. Dawn, you got your Walking Dead game, right? Okay, so at some point we're going to be cracking out a classic zombie game, Walking Dead from Mantic Games, that Dawn got signed by Ronnie from Mantic.
There you go.
She is the Michonne of Walking Dead, the game. It's right on her box, signed by the man himself. We went to the pre-release boot camp at Beast of War back in the day when it was being released, and she, it was a good time. So we'll be throwing some of that out there for everybody. It's out of production now. They lost the license or it terminated, whatever the case may be, but we'll be bringing it back in all its glory. So, yeah. So according to Incursion is coming out with the PTO expansion soon. Looks pretty cool. So. There's so much to go over.
I hope it actually comes out. The rumor control has been out on that for a while, but not a lot of action.
I don't know if Gaz's still on right now because he's been awfully quiet, or if he jumped off. But I would love to get Gaz back to do a couple painting videos for the new channel, maybe some Lord of the Rings stuff or whatever. But love to see a little bit of that. And hopefully I can get back to where I have a painting studio. I'll throw some painting videos up. And once I get back into the practice, I am so out of practice. I started painting that Odin. I got some base color down, and I'm still processing in my head what color schemes to go with. I'm trying to get a colder feel. When you look at it, it feels cold, right? But I also want to contrast it with a little bit of a warmer color. That's why you see, I don't know if you looked at it, Chris, sitting on the table, but you got the crow feathers, and then there's like a skin underneath that on top of his cloak. And I painted that like a leathery brown, and I'm going to weather it so it's like, a rawhide, animal skin. So just the contrast, so you don't have everything one color scheme. So it gives some contrast. But yeah, so
that's where we're going. One of you guys mentioned conventions. If anybody on the the podcast is going to be at Depticon. Look up Marty and I while we're there.
Yeah.
We'll be around.
So, depending on what goes on in my life, we might be there. We might not be there. Well, unfortunately, we won't know until we know. So I wish we knew now, but unfortunately, we don't. But yeah, we got Adepticon coming up. Little Wars too, right?
Yep, in April.
Yeah. Have we committed to that?
Yep.
Do we know?
Yep.
All right.
I already talked to Kevin.
Cool. So, guys, thank you very much for joining us on this weekend's edition of the Sit Rep Podcast, historical edition. And keep playing, keep gaming. And thank you for joining us. Thank you for supporting us and all the awesome things you do. And we will see you guys next time. Take care. See you later.